What's up, people, and welcome back to Destination Switch, your destination for everything Switch 1 to Switch 2 related. I'm your host of VGV, the Video Game Votary. So if you've been following the channel, especially as of late, one thing I thoroughly enjoy, and I do it nearly every day, and wherever I'm at, I always check Walmart. Walmart has been one of my favorite places to game hunt recently. The reasoning behind that is Walmart tends to drop the price on a lot of video games, not even just Switch, but in this case, we're Destination Switch, so we're talking about Switch titles. Tricky thing is, you may go to one location, you'll see a game at a certain price, and go to another location, and it'll be either more expensive or it'll be the more desirable price, which is cheaper. And sometimes you gotta wait, sometimes you don't end up seeing it matching that price. And what I typically like to do when I do visit different Walmarts, I always look at the tags, even if it's not in stock. That way I can keep like a mental note to look at the different locations to see if I can find the game, and hope that at some point the price does drop to meet whatever I see it at. And typically my range is from $5 to $20. So anything from up to $20 always excites me, especially when I find a decent game for relatively cheap. So today we're going to take a trip to one of the Walmarts. Actually, this particular location was actually in South Carolina. When I was visiting, I was a guest for RetroCon 3. And as you guys saw in the video for RetroCon 3, I didn't buy anything there, but I happened to buy 3 games from Walmart. Yeah, I didn't buy anything at RetroCon 3, so I figured, why not try my luck at Walmart? So let's head to Walmart, and hopefully we see some of these games drop down to the $10, $15 price range. Let's head over to Walmart. What up, people? I just want to thank you guys for your continued support of the channel, and of course you can do all that for free by doing 3 things. That's hitting the like button, the subscribe button, also hitting the bell, turn on notifications so you don't miss a single upload. Here on the channel, we upload 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 7 p.m. YouTube has added a new feature that can help creators to grow and get their content out to a larger audience. That feature is called Hype Points. Go down in the comment section, swipe to the left, you can deliver Hype Points 3 times a week. 3 different videos. It could be the same creator if you want, and what that does is send a back signal to YouTube to push that content into a larger audience. It gives them a bigger chance to grow and more people, more eyes on the content. So if you did the content, go down and drop me some hype points, hit the like button, and if you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything here on the channel. And as always, thank you guys for your support. Let's get back to the video. All right, guys, so I was able to find 3 more games to add to the Switch collection. And again, like I said, this always hypes me up. And I mentioned before, I don't really have picks when it comes to it, especially when it's $10 or less. I will pretty much buy anything. My thought process on a lot of these titles, I'd rather get them for $10, $15 or less, especially if it's a less desirable title, and just simply to add to the collection, because I always look at it as, you never know what's going to be like that Barbie game on the 3DS that's like $2,000, or Kuon, or anything like that. You really don't know unless something literally comes out as a limited run title And even with that, that's you still really don't know. So my thing is, if I'm gonna take a risk on a game that I don't necessarily want, pay as less as possible to add that to the collection. And who knows, one day that Barbie game may be the new Barbie game, and they only made a certain amount of copies. You never know. Especially how strange things are with games and retailers now. You don't see a lot of copies of games in stock at a lot of places. So you know, it's just one of those things where the way things are going, you really don't know until people start doing some research and then find something out. And you could have came up on a potential gold mine or an investment for you to flip, make some money, or reinvest into your collection. You just never know. But I was able to add 3 titles to the collection from my trip down to South Carolina at some Walmart, probably from here in Maryland to South Carolina and in between. Because I typically, when I make my rest stops to use the bathroom or something like that, I try to find a Walmart because I always like to look in different locations to see what's on sale. And I actually seen a couple of games there at a certain price point that I haven't seen at any other Walmart. So let's get into those. Up first, we talking about Barbie. So this particular game is Barbie Dreamhouse Adventures. Barbie Dreamhouse Adventures is a life simulation and minigame collection based on the popular Barbie animated series of the same name. The game lets players explore Barbie's dream house, customize rooms, interact with friends and family, and take part in a variety of activities and minigames. The overall vibe is very casual, colorful, and cozy, almost like a mix of Dollhouse Simulator and a light lifestyle game. Players can decorate and redesign rooms, change outfits and hairstyles, cook recipes, dance or perform music, bake desserts, care for pets, explore Malibu-inspired locations, participate in small events and activities. The game is aimed primarily at younger audiences and Barbie fans, focusing more on creativity and self-expression than challenge or competition. A big part of the appeal comes from recreating the feel of the animated show, with familiar characters like Barbie, Brooklyn Barbie, Ken, Skipper, Chelsea, and Stacy. There's also a strong emphasis on customization, letting players personalize clothing, furniture, and living spaces through the experience. Versions of Barbie Dreamhouse Adventure have appeared on mobile devices and consoles. The Switch version especially appeals to families and younger players looking for an easygoing game focused on creativity, exploration, rather than activity-heavy gameplay.
Hi, I'm Barbie, and welcome to my dream house. Whoa! Help us decorate every room with your own style. You can be as creative as you want. Fun in the dream house never stops. There's so much to discover. Are you ready to dance? Yay! There's always something new in the dream house. Come play.
I was able to add this to the collection. This was actually for $10, which is a great price for something like this that is less desirable. And what I noticed with a lot of these titles, even I try to gauge how good the game is or maybe desirable. And what I've been noticing, a lot of people will scoop these games up for dirt cheap. So my advice, if that's what you want to do, if you're a hardcore Switch collector like myself, don't waste time. Just go ahead and pick it up if you have it responsibly. Don't just, blow money. But if you have it to do it responsibly, that'll probably be the time to do it, because I could probably tell you this. You may miss out and think, oh, I'll come back and get it later. Then you go back and it's definitely gone. Somebody bought it. It probably piss you off. And you might see another location and they may never drop the price. Or they may drop the price and then everybody bought the game before you got it. But that's just my advice. Now, this next title was actually one I had my eyes on for a while. It came out probably not even a year ago. And the last I seen it drop down to $20, which is a good price. But then I noticed that it started creeping down. $20 is a good price. And I could have and probably should have bought it there. But I figured I'll take a risk sometimes. I'll just keep my eyes on them. Because anytime we'll go in Walmart, I go straight to the game section and just look to see what's there. And lo and behold, I seen this drop down to $10. This is the first time I seen it at that price along with Barbie. We talk about Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports. Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports is an arcade-style sports party game featuring classic Looney Tunes characters like Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Taz, Roadrunner, and Wile E. Coyote competing in over-the-top cartoon sports events. The game combines 4 main sports: basketball, soccer, golf, and tennis. But instead of realistic gameplay, everything is designed to feel chaotic and cartoonish. Players can use Acme-style power-up, dodge falling anvils, and trigger goofy hazards during matches. The game supports local multiplayer, making it more of a couch co-op and party experience, similar to arcade sports games like Mario Strikers, Mario Tennis, and NBA Jam. Players can choose characters based on different playstyles. Some are faster, while others focus on strength and trickery. One of the best selling points is the nostalgic cartoon presentation. The animation, slapstick humor, and exaggerated sports action try to capture the feel of classic Looney Tunes cartoons rather than serious competition. The game released in September 2024 for platforms including the Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Reception has been mixed overall. Some players enjoy it as a fun, family-friendly party game, especially in multiplayer, while others criticize the lack of online play and limited game modes.
It presents Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports, where your favorite tunes will compete in your favorite sports. Basketball, golf, tennis, and soccer. And who will win the ultimate prize? The Golden Anvil. Let's find out. It's time for the Acme Tournament of Champions.
What's up, Doug?
And I was definitely happy to add that to the collection. I love sports games, and I definitely like arcade style games. And don't get it twisted, don't sleep. This is what I mean by those guilty pleasure games where you probably wouldn't think twice about buying something like that. And I was engaged into that game even when I saw it on the Nintendodirect, just because the arcade style sports game that was centered around Looney Tunes, I thought that was cool. But the game was actually a lot of fun. I highly recommend picking it up, especially if you can get it at the $10 price point. I've been seeing them range at Walmart from $10 to $30, but hopefully you find them for $10 because that's what I got it for. Now, this next title started creeping down for a while, was hanging steady at around like 40, 50 bucks. And I started noticing it creep down around $30 was the last I seen it. But this particular Walmart actually had it for $15. I'm super excited to add this to the collection. Although it hasn't got the greatest reviews for the Switch version. But again, I'm a Switch collector, so I'm probably not going to be too hard on it unless it's completely unbearable and unplayable, sort of like WWE 2K18. I'm talking about Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1 is a fighting game developed by NetherRealm Studios and published by Warner Brothers Games. Despite the name, it isn't the first game in the series. It's actually a reboot and reimagining of the long-running Mortal Kombat universe. The story picks up after the events of Mortal Kombat 11, where Liu Kang becomes a god and creates a brand new timeline. In this new era, classic characters return with redesigned origins, relationships, and personalities. Familiar fighters like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Raiden, Mileena, Katana, and Johnny Cage all appear, but many have different backstories compared to earlier games. Gameplay-wise, Mortal Kombat 1 keeps the series' trademark brutal combat, cinematic special moves, and graphic fatalities. Introduces a major new mechanic called Cameo Fighters. Cameo Fighters are assist characters that can jump into battle to extend combos, interrupt opponents, provide defensive support, create tag team style attacks. This adds a new layer of strategy and makes matches feel faster and more combo heavy than previous entries. Visually, the game is highly cinematic with detailed character models, flashy animations, and movie-style story presentation. The franchise has always been known for pushing spectacle and violence, and Mortal Kombat 1 continues that tradition with over-the-top finishing moves and brutal X-ray style attacks. The game released for platforms including the Switch, PS5, X and S, and the PC. The Switch version received a lot of attention at launch because many players criticized its visuals and performance compared to other versions, though later patches improved parts of the experience. For longtime fans, Mortal Kombat 1 is both a reboot and celebration of the series' history, taking classic characters and rebuilding the universe from the ground up while still keeping the fast, violent identity the franchise is famous for.
It is time. Time to wake up to a new reality. To a blank canvas that I have painted in with warmth and peace. In my new era, the choice is yours. Whether to live in quiet serenity or bloody strife. To dwell in joyous prosperity or bitter rivalry. You can face each other as sworn enemies or united as brothers. But a storm is brewing, and soon you will discover that even in this new era, one constant remains. There is always something worth fighting for. You have chosen to defy peace. Then you have chosen war with a god.
I was able to pick up Mortal Kombat 1 for 15 bucks. I thought that was a great price point. And because of the popularity of Mortal Kombat, especially now that the new movie's out, I don't see this lasting long at that price point. Like, people are going to buy them up. So I highly recommend that. And I'm hoping to do something like this weekly, kind of let you guys know if I happen to find a certain title at a certain price point for you to keep an eye out at your locations. Now, I remember back when the arcade 1-up was really popular, people would try to get the address to certain locations where they had something clears out at a location and try to use that to get something for the same price at another location. But that's not how Walmart works. It's literally location by location. Prime example, you saw in the footage, I just picked up Final Fantasy Tactics a couple months ago when I went to Georgia for Augusta Video Game Exposition. And while I was there, I picked up Final Fantasy Tactics. I paid $50. I literally went to a Walmart in Georgia and seen that game for $20. I was livid. But again, that's just part of the game. You never know. But that's the thrill of the hunt. This is, to me, almost the same as going to hunt at flea markets and thrift stores. This is like my hustle and my grind and hustling or trying to find games, hoping to find certain games that drop down for an insane price. So I'm really enjoying this hunt, and I'm happy to add these games to my collection. Let me know down in the comment section below. When you visit your local Walmarts, do you frequent the video game section, which I'm sure you do, and do you pay any attention to the value, lower price video games? Let me know what's your thoughts on that. Also, do you typically just buy certain games if they're cheap, or do you pretty much base it on whether or not there's a want and desire for you personally? Definitely want to know your thoughts down below. And as always, thank you guys for your support. And until we reach our next destination, this is VGV signing off.